Professor Gurmeet Singh, our Vice-Chancellor, will introduce our Lieutenant Governor because he has worked with her in the old days when she was in the police force.
Well, friends, I've already said about our Lieutenant Governor that she's a Karam Yogi. And when we address her by saying Dr. Kiran Bedi, I was talking to some of the Vice-Chancellors in the morning, and they were saying, Dr. Kiran Bedi, I said, yes, she's a PhD. They said it must be an honorary degree, which is normally awarded to somebody who does a good service for public, and some university gives an honorary degree. But friends, this is not an honorary degree. She has worked for that, and she has worked in an area which is very dear to all of us, which is a matter of great concern, that's on drug abuse. Dr. Kiran Bedi is not only a police officer, she is not only a person who's performed exceedingly well in public life, she's an academician in her own right. After having become a police officer, of course, she joined police force after doing her honors in English, PA honors in English. Then she went on to do her master's degree in political science. And after that, during her college days, she was a wonderful tennis player. And probably a mix of this tennis, sports, and academics drove her to IPS exam, where she performed wonderfully well and became the first police officer, woman IPS officer of her country. Then normally after achieving this kind of a success, one would say, well, one would now go on to serve the police with distinction. She did that. And she didn't started taking rest. She started working for her PhD in no less an institution than IIT Delhi, where she did her PhD in drug abuse and domestic violence, both very difficult areas to work. Not otherwise, but to get a data collected on this is not a very easy job. People would not come forward to report domestic violence. So she did collect all this, analyzed, and suggested the remedial measures, and was awarded a doctorate by IIT Delhi. Not only that, most of us would do PhDs and then feel very happy about this. She went on to do her postdoc also and was awarded Nehru Fellowship, which you know is not a very easy achievement to get. After this, she wrote many books. She was performing very well when she was transferred as DGP prisons. And in police parlance, they will say it's not a very important position. And when she was given this, she performed so very well there. Prison reforms, if somebody has to be given credit for, it is Dr. Kiran Bedi. And for that 3 years tenure that she had, she was awarded Magsaysay Award during that tenure. She authored a number of books. One of those books on prison reforms, Always Possible, was done during that time. Then there is a biography on Dr. Kiran Bedi, which is very aptly entitled, I Dare. And she has dared not only one area, many areas, where after daring she has gone on to perform very well. Then there is a biopic on her, which is Yes, Madam, Sir, by an Australian, which has been translated into many languages, many countries that has been shown in, and she has been writing at times a column called As I See. So with so many multifarious activities where she has been performing so very well, then for somebody to do exceedingly well in public life, all these are not that easy. Not only this, you would be wondering, is that all? No, it is not that all. When she was in her college days, she did very well in academics, as I said, and she went on to teach also. That means she has been one among us during her younger days, and she was a very popular teacher. Some of the people, students of those days, if you talk to, they will still remember her with a lot of reverence that, yes, she was an excellent teacher. Not only this, She was an excellent tennis player. She didn't stop playing tennis after becoming police officer. She went on, and she was #1 player of our country. Not only that, she was the Asian champion in tennis. So all these things will be very hard to find in one individual, and that's what is Dr. Kiran Bedi. I have a great pleasure in introducing to you and presenting to you our very dynamic, versatile Lieutenant Governor, Dr. Kiran Bedi, please. All yours.
Thank you so much, sir. Whatever we do, however we introduce her, will never be complete because she continues to set new targets for us to keep abreast of. Today, she has brought with us a special presentation that she would like us to share. Kindly watch that presentation, and after that, she will be giving her address.
You would have heard about corporate social responsibility. Our president has recently started something called USR. So in the notice you would have seen it is CSR to USR.
This idea belongs to our president, who has given this component. And I mentioned this 3 days ago when I returned from the Governor's Conference from Delhi, that President of India, and I tweeted it, saying President of India has given this concept. We should see it through. I didn't know at that time. We'll do it today. This is the spirit of Swachhta, the Shramdan. It's Dan, it's giving your own karma. It's Shramdan.
இங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய நிலத்தடி நீராதாரத்தை ரொம்பவே பாதிக்கப்படக்கூடிய கருவேல மரத்தையும் நாங்கள் அடியோடு எங்கள் மாணவர்கள் மூலமாக நாங்கள் அழிச்சிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கோம்.
put this cycle rally with the students because it's time to pass the Swachh Pondicherry movement back to the people. So far, Team Raj Nivas was leading it. Now Team Raj Nivas passes it on to the people of Pondicherry. Now the students of Pondicherry, youth of Pondicherry, schools of Pondicherry, people of Pondicherry, parents of Pondicherry, teachers of Pondicherry now have to take the baton. So Swachh Pondicherry has to be owned by the people of Pondicherry.
Yes.
Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Bharat Mata ki Jai! Bharat Mata ki Jai! Bharat Mata ki Jai! I never knew when I would say bye-bye to the service because the service needs a lot of decision-making. And that decision-making is not always palatable to powers that be. So friends, to be honest, I kept two professions in my pocket, a legal profession and a teaching profession. However, both actually groomed me to be a better understanding police officer and an administrator, which is coming in good stead to me now as serving as in the administration of Pondicherry. Why did we show you a presentation? Why? There may be a reason. Not to glorify us, but what 36 million can do. Friends, you are 36 million overseeing 1,000 universities. What few thousand could do, I believe everyone can do. Country needs this. Country doesn't need 30, 40, 100, 5,000. No. If we are truly wanting transformation in this country, and we want to reform the systems of what kind of people are we giving to the future, then every child, every student, which means 36 million. 1,000 universities, which means, sir, only 1,000 vice-chancellors. Just 1,000 vice-chancellors can play magic and change the way we conserve water, the way we clean up our country, the way we are law-abiding. It's a question of where do we settle our acceptance level. Where do we say we are done, we are very happy? I'll give you a little story since Dr. Gurmeet Singh mentioned about my prison assignment. When I took over, I asked them, because I was a student at heart, as you've seen. I've constantly educated myself, upgrading regularly whatever little I know. I want to know more every day. So reading is a very integral part of my habit, and so is writing. So I'm a student at heart. I owe this to my teachers who taught me, whether it was graduation or masters. I've had the finest teachers whom I always remember with total reverence. I went to the prison assignment and I asked them, because I felt the antidote to crime control is education. There's no magic. It is education. Those of us who've led a better life were better educated. It's different from being literate. So I asked the prison authorities, do you have study programs, educational programs? They said, yes, madam, very good programs. I said, very good. What's the population of our prison? The population of our prison was 10,000 people. They took me to a class, which was an Urdu class. Then they took me to another class, and in all who were enrolled in education were 300. So I told them that's not enough. And to the courts and the higher courts, we have educational program in the prison. See, we have educational classes, Urdu, English. The court never asked them, how many? It didn't. Had they asked them that you are 10,000, but only 300 are studying, what about the rest? What are the others doing? Why are the others not studying? Why should this not be asked? Question here is, when these people, these boys and girls of the National Service Scheme, college students, you have Registrar's College, Tagore College also helped us straight away, and he's the registrar today, a man full of initiatives. When he was heading his college, full of initiatives. As I see in the current university through this current Vice-Chancellor, full of initiatives. I see a sea change. He's talking about change here. I see a change in the university management here. As a rector, students used to come to me for problem after problem in the open house I have from Monday to Wednesday. University issues, problem after problem. And I used to refer them to the dean and the registrar here. Something was getting solved and lots were not getting solved. And we used to hit a wall. Friends, I'm not getting any complaints about Pondicherry University today. They're not coming because they know they have to come. They can come here. They go to the registrar, they go to the dean, then they go to the vice-chancellor. Systems are working, which means where there is a will, there is a way. So what I'm saying, friends, is that 36 million can be involved in Swachh Bharat. 36 million can be involved in water conservation. 36 million should be involved in planting trees. 36 million should become law-abiding. 36 million can be men and women of character. I'll give you one more example from my training days. I became Special Commissioner Training in Delhi Police. And I had a very large group to be meditated, not group, it was a large crowd for training. But we were very short of teachers. The SHOs are not trained teachers. SHOs can be investigators. They can do patrol, but they're not teachers. Police officers are more in the field and executive. They're not teachers. We are not teachers by nature. We are executors of enforcement of law, investigate, but not very good communicators. All of them by nature are not. So when I took up training, I found very reluctant training faculty. And what were they passing? I asked them in one of my meetings, and I said, how many of you are really happy being here? They said, Madam, then one of them said, Madam, when we go out amongst our relatives, they said, so where are you? Today, Azad Singh ji, aap kahan hai? Where are you posted? And I shake hands and say, I am so-and-so Azad Singh. Oh, kahan hai posted? Police training school mein. He says the hand falls like this. Hand falls. Because I'm not in a police station. I'm in police training, sir. Sir, this is the madam. Kya hamari izzat hai bahar? We are not respected because we are in training institution, police training college. So I realized that if they don't change, if they don't value what they do, we are going to create an untrained force further, an unmotivated force. So do you know what I did? Well, besides motivating them and training them, the second thing which we did was set up a feedback box in every class. Every class had a feedback box. So we said, all right, while you train, students will tell us what you're doing. So we set up locked feedback boxes. The key was only with me. Now, when the feedback box came, the same inspectors who were refusing to be good trainers had to train because otherwise a feedback will come that we learned nothing today. Or this teacher did nothing. Or he came unprepared. So on one hand, we start to prepare our teachers, helping them understand what is class lesson plan, how it is to spread learning and teaching, what is learning and teaching. On the other hand, we created a social pressure. Friends, I've experimented with this. So the second, therefore, is I do not know how many of you have a feedback box system. Without the feedback box, these 36 million are not involved into your work. If you want to engage them, then you have to engage them in thinking with you, ideating with you, telling you what is right, what is not right, telling you who's teaching well and who's not teaching well. Let them think. Let them say anything. Let them speak. Put it into confidential box, and that box should be opened only by the Vice-Chancellor. The key of the box should be only with the Vice-Chancellor. The key was only with me, nobody else. So there was a trust between the feedback giver and the reader, and the trust was kept. Every day I used to open the box, read the petitions, find out what's going on, and just because there was a box, whether complaints came or not, didn't matter. What if it comes? And what has come? Everybody, friends, was on the alert. I didn't need to put in vigilance boxes. Didn't need to do IB, Intelligence Bureau. No. Everybody was involved. Same thing which happened even in the prison, where prisoners were involved into ideating, communicating. So friends, I urge you, number one, I shared with you, 36 million in Swachh Bharat, 36 million in water conservation, 36 million in Shramdan. That's why I wanted to show you. What if everybody, before they leave on the weekend, teachers lead, the Vice-Chancellor leads in Shramdan of a whole university, there'll be no maintenance cost of the university will be minimal. We used to do this in police training school. Every Saturday, every class cleaned up their own class, set the chairs right, cleaned it up, and locked it and came to a fresh, clean room. It happened. It was called Shramdan, but it wasn't saying, tum karo. I also had a broom. I also had a duster. I also did whatever I could do, and everybody went home, came back to a clean institution. A clean and green. Every tree was owned by students. Is it possible, sir? Is this possible? I'm asking you. Can we not do it? Do we need a diktat from the cabinet? Do we need a diktat from the Prime Minister? Do we need a diktat? And that's what our Honorable President said, university social responsibility. This is university's social responsibility. And what is university's social responsibility? Not 1,000 NSS, not 1,000 NCC, but every student involved in the act of responsibility. Today, what I feel, what has gone lopsided in our country is a focus more on rights rather than responsibilities. I think if we start balancing it, then we make the child, a boy or girl, understand you exercise your responsibility, your friend's right is protected. And your friend exercises responsibility, your right is protected. Because if everybody is a law violator, everybody is a victim. And if everybody is responsible, the traffic is in order. The systems, the class is in place. So friends, I have these two things, and I have one more thing, last thing, which I'll share with you is, number one, I shared with you 36 million. I think that's the challenge for you. To me, this is the challenge. Not 1,000 done. No, what is not done? Exactly what happened with me there when I took the prison. How many have not gone into class? And you'd be surprised, I do not know whether you know, that a day came, all 10,000 prisoners in Tihar jail went to school. All 10,000. And you might say, why? How? Where did the teachers come from? Did you have the money, madam? Did you have the budget? No, zero budget. Zero budget. You might say, how? Yes. We found out the educated prisoners to educate the less educated. Educated graduates, educated masters, educated even 12th standard took the primary class. Then you might say, where did the books come from? All old used school books came. All old used school books came of every class. And every prisoner was put into the class as they were capable. Literacy, illiteracy, middle, upper. I had godowns full of books. From 4 libraries, we became to 25 libraries. Where did the books come from? Donated by publishers. Those who lost a page here or didn't go into export, they gave. We had 25 libraries and storybooks in abundance because we connected with the publishers to donate. So when there were schools donating used school books, publishers donating books which they did not need, teachers were from the educated prisoners, and we had a regular school going on and educated. Prisoners who came with thumb impression entered, wrote signature at the release. And they took school bags along with them to show to their families they've come back literate. Where there is a will, friends, there is a way. I have looked up to the position of a vice-chancellor as a transformer, as a performer, and as a reformer. Not as a ringmaster, but as a Zen master. You are Zen masters. You have to give them an art of living. You have to train these 36 million. I think by the year 2025, 70% of India's population will be in the working class. How many? 2, 1, plus 5. 6 years from now, those you are educating will be in the working class, who will be either working or employing others, looking for jobs or giving jobs. You have the future of this country in your hand. Why do you think I'm here today? It was such a wonderful opportunity. When Dr. Singh said, can you come? I would come 100 times. For such an occasion, I will come 100 times. Why? Behind you are thousands of youth who are going to be walking the streets, creating productivity, going into the fields, creating jobs, creating wealth, and into areas of creative learning and preparing themselves. So friends, for such an occasion, because as I said, I'm not a teacher at heart. I'm a student at heart. I want to learn every day. But as a student, I don't want to do it alone. We must do it all together. I think the challenge is, I'm myself amazed, if when 36, whichever university you are in, if everybody is involved into one common cause, there can be no problems of water, there'll be no problems of pollution, there will be solutions, because the youth will want a better future. I therefore urge you, involve everybody, give them the art of living. Art of living will take them to a meaningful life. But without art of living, only for job employment, we are creating very serious challenges, because it will lead to also possibly rights rather than responsibilities. Which responsible behavior will lead to all possible solutions, whether it's elder care, whether it's being law-abiding, whether it's value-based education, whether it's punctuality, whether it's integrity. What is not right with the administration today is what kind of youth did we send in? They were looking for, some of us were only looking for jobs, but not for service. Service. Shramdan and these activities which we showed you through university's social responsibility will teach them responsible behavior, make them compassionate, make them sensitive, and most of all, friends, grateful. What today's youth has lost out on is being grateful. Say thank you. Do the students, how many students stand up after the class, say, thank you, teacher. Thank you for doing this for us. They've lost the word thank you. We are all product of gratitude. Today, whatever we are, who are happy in life, are product of the sense of gratitude. Gratitude towards parents. Gratitude towards whatever we have. With whatever we had, we did the best with whatever we had. We never said, till that comes, then we'll do. As an administrator, lieutenant governor, friends, and anywhere I served, it's been always short of resources. No institution in India is absolutely full of all resources. I know you're going to discuss this, what is not there, what government is not giving you, what you don't have on finances, where you don't have the teachers. Every time you say you don't have, ask yourself what you have. And what are you doing with what you have? To me, you have 36 million energetic young men and women. You talk of crimes against women? Are we grooming our girls to be strong all the time? And are we grooming our boys to be sensitive and respectful towards women? Is there subtle messages? Are there subtle messages? There are very many ways. You don't have to lecture. You don't have to theorize. You can subtly have movies. You can have subtle speakers. You can have subtle activities which will send these repeated messages, which will sync. You can have activities which will change. So friends, don't every time after this, you say, we don't have this. I think this is a forum to say what we have and what we build on this. Of course, we'll go back to the government. That's what these associations are meant for. They must take up the matters with the government, what they can get. But that doesn't mean we wait. Students' life is not going to wait. They're not going to wait. Their clock is ticking. Their clock is ticking. Your life may be waiting. You and not my life may be waiting. But children's youth life is not waiting. They have 3 years to go, 2 years to go, 5 years to go. They'll not come back. And they will be what you gave them. Therefore, you cannot wait till I have a better teacher, till I have a proper chancellor, till I have a registrar, till I have a dean, till I have another few crores, then only, you will say, yes, I need that. It's a must for our future infrastructure. But I have the youth. I have the energy. I have the health. I have the will. I have the programs. I can use my hands, legs, heart, mind, soul. So be yen masters, zen masters, not ring masters. Take them towards the skill of knowing. You're moving towards knowledge economy, artificial intelligence coming, but dislodge half of us. Half of us. Are we looking for creativity? That is what feedbacks will tell you. Ask for ideas. Ask for ideas. What subject you want, what training you want, what repetition you want. Ideas will come into your feedback box. And that's the way you can take your institution always forward. It's like an open subject where amongst the teachers, you can say, these are the new ideas which have come. I have been a product of this feedback system. Cannot live a day without this. Because whatever you do, how is your product being consumed? For a doctor, patient is the measurable. For an administrator, it is the public. For a vice-chancellor, it is the students. 36 million people, youth, must say, we have one of the best vice-chancellors. 1,000. You are 1,000. Friends, mark my word. What is the India you want of the next 3 years? You can shape it. You are here to shape the southern zone. The other day, I read an analysis where a particular state said they knew more about their mobile phone usage rather than they could plot their own state in a map. It was a headline in a paper. And it's a study which has concluded that students of that place knew everything about Facebook and technology. Then plotting, find their own state in the map. I have a headline in my file. I'm not mentioning the state. It was this banner headline. Friends, how do you deal with this? You are already getting what school is giving. But does it mean that we blame the school that didn't send us prepared? No. We got to do our best with what we get and start working in whatever way we can, not a day to be lost. So we don't have a day to be lost. That's the reason I'm here. Friends, I'm one of your community. I'm part of the teaching community. You never know when I go back again. I'm in my own ways continuing to teach, learn, and spread the message of education. Because if I stop doing that, I'll start decaying. Freshness to the mind, fresh knowledge, new knowledge, challenging knowledge is nutrition to the mind and the soul, whether it's spiritual or whether it's others. That's what you are. Play with the children. Play with them, sing with them, dance with them, think with them, talk with them, take them along, go biking. I've been biking. Have I become less Lieutenant Governor? I've been biking with the students. They've loved it. Such experiences they'll never ever forget. This is what teaching and learning is all about. Doing what you want them to do. And they'll never forget it. All those who picked up all the garbage have been sensitized to sanitation, to plastic and water conservation. So India desperately needs environmental protection. And law-abiding. There are many, many things. There's lots can be said. I want to thank you for hearing me most patiently. Please bear with me whatever I've said. I've not said as an administrator. I've said it as one of you who is a part of the teaching faculty and remains so. Thank you very much.
Well, friends, you'll be wondering why I've come again. When they said, who is to introduce Dr. Bedi? I said, I'll do that. He said, have you got her biodata? I said, I don't need, because I know her very well from the good old days when she was DCP traffic in Delhi. And there, we all in Delhi, we have an MP in our pocket, always. So therefore, we don't bother about rules and regulations. People will park the car right in the middle of the road and go away. She introduced a concept of a crane which will take the car away. And gradually she came to be known as Crane Bedi from Kiran Bedi. And the whole traffic got regularized during her tenure. That concept is still on. Second thing that I wish to highlight here is, she was given a posting as DG Home Guards way back in 2006, if I remember correctly. She used to visit Delhi University, and I was the proctor at that time, and we used to interact in the presence of Vice-Chancellor. She coined an idea that in our country, home guards are not properly, their services are not properly used, adequately used. Why don't we design a course in disaster management? I said, things are not that easy to change in DU, but then we can design a paper which will be there as an essential paper in BA pass course. We did that. She would never take a credit for that. After that introduction, there was a disaster management authority set up in India. I happened to attend the very first meeting, and now you know how much good work they are doing. Now disaster management departments are there in most of the universities. A lot of research is being done, and they are doing a human service all over. So we have never taken any credit. She has never mentioned that the disaster management emanated from her thoughts when she was DG Home Guards. So from that point onwards, where disaster management now is in the education scenario is for all of us to see. So give a credit for that to her. She never claimed. In none of her writings this will be mentioned. I thought this is one point, I must bring it out. Second, I would like to recognize the presence of 4 past presidents here of the Association of Indian Universities. It's a rare occasion when so many of them have been there together. Immediate past president is Professor P.B. Sharma, who is here with his wife. Madam Professor P.B. Sharma, the immediate past president is here. Dr. Chande is here. Then Dr. Chauhan is here. And Dr. Puri is here. So these are the 4 past presidents who are here. Kindly give a big hand to them. Thank you so very much, please.